Welcome to Kathy's Eclectic Garden. I'm Kathy and I garden in 6A in Northwest Ohio. Today we are going to be looking at one of the problem areas in my garden. We'll be right back. This area of the garden is clear on the east end of our property, and it's a fairly new area. 3 years ago is when we put this all in, and we put in a fence and an arbor, and I wanted to have the north side and the south side be identical. Well, that didn't work. I started out with lavender, and it didn't die, but it didn't grow either. Don't think it was getting enough sun. So we took the lavender out and moved it to a sunnier location, and I decided to try hydrangeas and a boom chocolate geranium. And here on the north side, they're looking really good. This first plant here is the boom chocolate geranium, and I may be moving that one and replacing it with a brown-eyed Susan. I haven't decided for sure yet, but it's looking better than it did, but it's still not looking as good as it did when I first bought it. The next plant is a hydrangea. It's a arborescence hydrangea, and this one is Invincible Mini Mauvette, and it's not doing too bad. It's looking pretty good. It's starting to get some little tiny blooms on it. And then the next plant at the top is a Invincible Spirit 2, another smooth hydrangea, or arborescence hydrangea. Now I also have in here a couple of purple coneflowers, and on the arbor, which I don't think you can see in this, but on the arbor there is a Happy Jack clematis. The purple coneflowers self-planted, self-seeded. So there were quite a few of them in there, and I took a bunch of them out, but I decided to leave a couple just to kind of fill in until these plants get to their full maturity. So that's what the other south side looked like, just flipped. So now let's go look at what I'm going to do on the south side. This is the south side of this garden area, and as you can see, I have ripped everything off of this side and moved to different locations. The plants weren't dead, but they weren't thriving. So I've moved them to better locations where hopefully they will do better. I think one of the major issues I have with these two beds is this bed in the springtime. If we get any spring rains at all, it floods and water stands here. So I need to put something in that will handle standing in a little water. I've taken everything out except the purple passion vine that's on the arbor, and hopefully that one's going to be okay. I'm going to mulch it really good. We're in zone 6, and they're supposed to be hardy to zone 6, but they're not always hardy for us. So I've put paper down to suppress weeds, and I'm going to put quite a bit of new soil on this bed. Hopefully that will raise it enough and give it some better drainage, so that if we do get some spring rains, what I'm going to plant here will be able to survive that wetter weather. By the time we decided to do this, it was mid-June, and by the time I found time to start working on it, it was pushing toward July. And when I went to try to find some soil to use, everybody was just about out. So I decided on this raised bed mix. I didn't want to just get garden soil because that doesn't have any type of nutrition in it. Excuse the noise. So I decided to go with this raised bed mix from Whitney Farms. I just got it at my local farm store here in town, and I bought everything they had left. Okay, so we've got our soil down. It took 4 bags of the 1.5 liter raised bed soil to get it up to the top of the landscape timber. We didn't want to go too much higher than that because it would just wash out into the yard. I've got 4 grasses placed, and 2 of them are Panacom Cheyenne Sky and 2 of them are little blue stem. I can't pronounce the Latin name for that one, so I'm not even going to try. This one here, the first one here on this end, is Panacom Cheyenne Sky. It's a red switchgrass. It has blue-green foliage. It turns wine red in early summer. It likes full sun to part shade, and it will get about 2 feet high and 3 feet, not quite 3 feet wide, 2.5 feet. And then when it blooms, it'll be another foot with the blooms on. So that's the Cheyenne Sky, and there's one on each end of the border. And the other 2 plants are in the middle, and that's the little blue stem. This is Blue Paradise. I do want to mention that I got these plants from Bluestone Perennials. They are somewhat nearby to me, same state. They're just on the other side. They're on the east side of the state, and I am on the west side of the state. So little blue stem gets silvery blue stems that form an upright columnar habit. They have deep wine purple fall colors. They get 36 to 42 inches tall and about 2 inches wide, or 2 feet wide, I'm sorry. So that's the little blue stem. All of these plants are native to my area, and well, to the eastern part of the country actually. So that's one of the reasons I chose these. We've raised this bed up. Hopefully that will keep them from getting too wet in the spring. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully this one will work. Okay, so let's get these started. I'm going to use my power auger drill to drill my holes. And I won't have to use any fertilizer because this is a native plant and they don't need fertilizer. I will pull some of the weeds out. And this is this pot is plantable. It's a plantable pot, and you can see this has a good root system because the roots are already coming through it. So this is the little blue stem. So I'll get this little guy all tucked in here and get him pressed down good, and after I get these all planted, I'll water them in real good. So there we go. And I will make some better tags to put on these, and I won't make you watch me plant all of them. So I've got them all planted, and I do want to mention that these are host plants. I'm not sure which insects they're host plants for, but they're also, as they get bigger, they're good cover plants for birds, and when they flower, I know the birds like the seeds off of them, so they will be good to bring in some pollinators and add to the diversity of my garden. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I bid you farewell from my North Bumblebee Retreat, and if you could see all of the bumblebees flying around this wild bergamot right here, you would know why this is the North Bumblebee Retreat. And I'm standing here amongst the purple coneflowers and enjoying my garden. See you next time. Bye.